We Filipinos know some Spanish words that we've absorbed into Tagalog. The problem is that now some of these Spanish words mean totally different things.
Hola Kabayan, I'm Alex and I'm here to help you learn Spanish. I moved to Spain 10 years ago at wala akong masyadong alam na Espanyol noon. Nahirapan akong tumira sa isang lugar kung saan hindi ko alam ang wika, kaya nag-aral ako ng masinsinan para makapag-survive ako dito. Ginawa ko ang channel na ito para makatulong sa aking mga kapwa Pinoy na gusto ring matutong mag-Espanyol.
So today I have a special guest, Candy. She's visiting from the Philippines and she's also trying to learn Spanish just like me, and she uses this when she travels all over South America, and now she's here in Madrid and she's been able to use her Spanish here. The Philippines was a colony of Spain for 300 years.
333 years.
As a whole, Filipinos don't speak Spanish, but we do have some words from Spanish.
Which is actually a good advantage for if you speak Tagalog. There are a lot of vocabs in our language that can help you with Spanish.
For example, basura, pero,
like things from the kitchen or the house.
like mesa,
Kutsara, tinidor, plato.
Exactly the same or almost exactly the same. Guapo as well. So it's very easy to understand because
Numbers, like we
Yes.
tell prices in Spanish, like 5, 10 or
and then also days of the week.
month of the year.
Days of the week though, except for Sunday. Sunday is linggo in Tagalog and domingo in Spanish. And then there are some words or phrases that have slight changes from Spanish to Tagalog, but you can still recognize these things. For example,
Kamusta?
which is a famous greeting in the Philippines. We say kumusta, which is como esta.
Yeah.
Then there is the word colchon. Colchon in Spanish means mattress, but in Tagalog it's kuchon, so the L disappeared. So it's a very slight difference. Also, there's sarado, which means closed, and in Spanish it's cerrado. So almost the same, but very slight difference.
Yeah. And also you have porquet. It's like porque.
Porque, like because. Yeah,
And
because.
also entendí, which is entiende in Spanish.
Which means to understand. So entiende and entendí, almost the same, but not quite. However, there are some words here in Spain that can be confusing for Filipinos because they are the same or very similar in the sound, but the meaning is completely different. One word that I came across here in Spain that made me very amused was the word cubeta. So cubeta in Tagalog means toilet. Yes, toilet is very unglamorous. But here I learned that in Spanish it actually means bucket. So just try to deduce why the word bucket came to mean toilet for Filipinos.
In buckets or something.
Yeah, back in the day.
There's also the word seguro. In seguro in Tagalog is like maybe. Seguro, do you like me? Seguro. But in Spanish, seguro means for sure.
Yes.
Which is total opposite.
These are the kinds of words you really have to learn about, especially as a Filipino speaking Tagalog, because you might have some miscommunication.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be answering someone maybe if you really meant yes for sure.
One other thing that I found very amusing when I moved here in Madrid was the word peluqueria. Because peluca means wig, both in Spanish and in Tagalog. But I assumed when I saw peluqueria that it meant
A wig shop.
a wig shop.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, there were so many peluquerias here, so I was thinking, do so many Spanish people wear wigs?
I know.
Yeah, and some other friends of mine who visit me think this way too. And I said, eventually I learned, no, it's just a beauty salon. You have your hair cut there. We don't call salons peluquerias in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Thus the confusion.
Also, there's another word which is siempre. Siempre, when we say in Tagalog, is of course. But in Spanish, siempre is always.
They're kind of related, but they mean different things.
Yeah.
Because you will say, will you go to the party tonight? And then in Tagalog, you'll say, syempre. It means, of course.
I'll go.
And then in Spanish, like, always. That's kind of
But there's
strange.
only one party.
Yeah. So,
One other word that is super confusing is when you say demasiado in Spanish, which means
Too much.
too much.
Yes.
But in Filipino, if you say demasiado, it's not
Not very.
Not very.
Not very. So that's
it's a total
opposite. Yes, that's true. Because you would say demasiado, like, it's too hot,
Yeah.
for example. But when you say, is it hot? And then you say demasiado,
Not
that's
so
not
hot.
so. So
It's confusing.
So another place that was confusing for me whenever I would see it was a place called the herbolario.
Which
Because
sounds very like our albolario.
yes, because albolario in Tagalog means like a witch doctor.
Yeah.
You know, someone that's not certified to heal people, but
Yeah.
like it's a healer, it's a person.
Like a faith healer.
Yes, but here in Spain, herbolario means an herbalist shop where you can buy herbal things like some vitamins or healthy stuff. So that's another thing that was pretty confusing at the start for me here.
There's another word which is sige, which we use a lot in Tagalog, which
Yes.
means okay, like all right. But in Spanish, sige means to continue, like sige a la derecha, it's like continue to the right.
Or to follow someone.
To follow, yeah.
Like, follow me.
correct.
It's a very common expression in Tagalog.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to the party? Sige.
Sige.
Like, can we go buy something? Sige.
Sige.
So that's another thing that just changed meaning.
One funny thing also is the word la mierda. How we use it in Tagalog is,
Yes.
wow, maglalamierda ka na naman. So that means, wow, you're going out or to travel or to have
to
fun.
have a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, to take a walk, sorry.
Yeah, like la mierda. But actually, la mierda means the shit.
Literally.
The shit.
So we are still wondering about the etymology of this term, why the shit means
Became-
like take a walk
To-
or go to the
to
mall
go
or
out.
to enjoy and hang out with your friends.
When giving directions, when we say derecho in Tagalog, it means to go straight. But if you hear derecha in Spanish, it means actually to the right.
Yes.
So if you're in a taxi and giving directions and you say derecho, and
Yeah.
then maybe he heard you as derecha and turns right, you probably get lost without a navigation app.
Finally, one word that I think is very interesting is the word salvaje. Because salvaje in Spanish means wild. Wild, like, a wild animal, salvaje. But in Tagalog, when you say salvaje, that means you naughty person, like
Yeah.
you bad
Bad girl,
person,
bad-
bad
yeah.
girl, bad boy.
Yeah.
So like you're so salvaje is like super negative and kind of insulting to a person. But here it's wild. I mean, I guess it has similar meanings, but you only use it for
In a different context.
yeah, totally different
So
context.
do you know any other Spanish Tagalog words that are interesting?
Yeah, do let us know in the comment section below.
Kung gusto mong matuto kung paano magpakilala ng sarili sa Espanyol, panoorin mo ang video na ito.